Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Upon one occasion, all of the angels, they came together. And upon coming together, they were discussing who was the most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They discussed who was the most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this was none other than a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out of the many messengers. And his name was Ayoub. The Prophet, his name was Ayoub alayhi salam. You see, Ayoub in his story is one of the most profound stories that we will ever hear in our lives. And we can take such a great ibrah from this story. You see, out of the many prophets, if I just, start with Yunus alayhi salam. Yunus alayhi salam. فَلَوْلَا أَنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُصَبِّحِينَ لَلَبِثَ فِي بَطْنِهِ إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. If he were not to supplicate towards us, Yunus alayhi salam, he would have stayed in the stomach of the whale. He was inside the whale's stomach for 3 nights in the midst of a darkness, in the midst of the ocean. And Yunus alayhi salam, he made a dua. He made a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the whale then, gushed him out and brought him back. Because فَلَوْلَا أَنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُسَبِّحِينَ لَلَبِثَ فِي بَطْنِهِ إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. And if he were not to supplicate back towards us, he would stay in the whale of the stomach of the whale until the last day, Yunus alayhi salam. So all of these messengers, they were tried, they were tested, they came through so many afflictions towards their life, but they were always steadfast in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They always supplicated towards their Lord. And when the angels, they gathered upon one another, they said that there was a servant called Ayoub. There was a servant called Ayoub who was the most blessed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the same time, you see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, نِعْمَ الْعَبْدُ إِنَّهُ أَوَّابٌ. That Ayoub alayhi salam, he was a blessed servant. نِعْمَ الْعَبْدُ إِنَّهُ أَوَّابٌ. And this Arabic word awwab, if we look into it, is a person that keeps coming back, returning back to us, keeps coming back. No matter what trial, no matter what affiliation that you might have in your life, they keep coming back. He keeps coming back. نِعْمَ الْعَبْدُ إِنَّهُ أَوَّابٌ. This was Ayoub alayhi salam. And at the same time, Ayoub alayhi salam, he had a dozen of children. He was one of the most richest individuals. He had so many possessions in his life. He had so many things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted him. But then at the same time, he was tried and he was tested. But he, Ayoub alayhi salam, never gave up in the trial and never gave up in the test. But he kept steadfast in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How did all this happen? It started off by Iblis. Iblis, who came to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and said that Ayoub, Ayoub, because you have given him so many possession, because you have given him so many richness, because you have given him so much money, so many children, that is the reason why he is strong. That is the reason why he is worshipping you as his creator, as his Lord. Rather, he should be tested. And I want you to grant me, because I want to test him, and I will make sure that he, with this test, that he will stop worshipping you the way he is worshipping you at this moment. This is Iblis saying this to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the same time, Iblis, he tested Ayoub. He said to Ayoub, look at all of your prayers. Look at the things that you are doing. And you are praying towards your Lord. You have lost all of your possessions. After Iblis went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling him, grant me, allow me to get Ayoub to lose all of his possession. Look at Iblis. He knows that the one who created the entire universe, he knows that the one who is in charge of the galaxy, the universe, the world, Rabbul Alameen, is none other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he's going back to the Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and saying, allow me, grant me to do this. And after that, Ayoub alayhi salam, he lost all of his possession. He lost all of his possession. He lost all of his wealth. And at the same time, Iblis said, you are praying. You are doing so many good things. Will you continue towards doing this? Try to get into Ayoub. Try to get right inside Ayoub. And Ayoub alayhi salam, he responded back by saying, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has granted me all of this. And He subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah gives to whom He wills and He takes from whom He wills. Allah has all the authority over everything, and to Him does everything return back to. Look at this level of faith. Do many of us actually have that level of faith? Some of us, we always look into our banks. We go online. We look in our iPhones. We go inside and we check. Okay, today I have 100 pounds. How can I be losing 20 pounds? What happened to me? But yesterday, you forgot that you gave in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But yesterday, you might have forgot that 20 pounds that you just dropped it on the ground. You wanted to put it in the bank, but you dropped it on the ground. Because this possession and these worldly things, they are so into us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this world itself, هذا dunya la'ib, it is nothing but a joyful life, a deceitful life, right? وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. That in this life, it is nothing but a deceitful and playful life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, but for us, when we lose on our possession, we like to go back and look for it because we cannot stay without losing our possession. Ayoub, being so rich, lost all of his possession. He lost everything. And he says that to all that it came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He grants it to whom He wills and He takes it from whom He wills. And to all shall it return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Iblis, not having any way out, astonished that this would be the response of Ayoub, but he did not give up. So Iblis alayhi salam, he did not give up. He went back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he said that allow me, take away the family of Ayoub. By taking away his family, by taking away his children, Ayoub will then turn away and he will turn away completely. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him this. And Ayoub alayhi salam now lost his possession, lost his wealth, lost everything, his money, richness, and he also lost his family. He lost his entire family. He lost his children, and they were all gone. They were huge, they were dozens, they were uncountable. They were all gone, and they did not return. And then Iblis then came back. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He was as testing Ayoub himself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us in the Quran, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُم مُّصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ, and your Lord will test you, بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ, with fear, وَالْجُوعِ, with hunger, وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ, and the loss of wealth, وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ, and the loss of wealth and the loss of fruits, وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ, and give glad tidings to the sabirin, the patient one. الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ, and when a calamity befalls upon them, they don't say, why did this happen to me? Why me? How come I am sick? Why do I have cancer? Why do I have problems? Why am I ill? Why do I have sickness? Why did it not happen to this person? Why did Allah choose me? Why not that person? الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ, and when a calamity befalls upon them, they do not say, why this, why me? They say, قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ, that for Allah that we are from, and to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we will return. This was Ayoub, exactly. This was Ayoub in the fine example of Ayoub alayhi salam. He lost all of his possession. He lost all of his wealth. He lost everything, his richness, his mal. And now he lost his children. He lost his family. What are you going to do after this? Are you going to give up in the footsteps of Iblis? Or would he continue? But Ayoub alayhi salam, he continued from there on. He continued from there on. After he lost every single thing. But he remembered the one who created him. The one who created him from nothing. He remembered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And still he did not give up. And then after that, what happened to Ayoub alayhi salam? Ayoub alayhi salam, you know, by being by himself at that moment, his wife came to him. His wife came to him and saw the situation of Ayoub alayhi salam. And Iblis, he said to the wife of Ayoub, will you still be with such an individual like this? After losing all his possession, after losing all his wealth, after losing all the children, you have lost everything. There is no hope whatsoever. Will you still be with Ayoub? Will you still be with your husband after all of this? And the wife of Ayoub going back to Ayoub. And that's why choosing the right spouse at times is the most important thing. Someone that will be with you thick and thin, someone that will be with you even if a calamity happens to you, even if you lose all of your money. Not someone that will be a gold digger and look at your pockets only, but someone that will love you for who you are and for the fact that you are, you know, her husband, and you have a nice heart for someone that she loves solely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the wife of Ayoub alayhi salam, Ayoub alayhi salam, he then said, she said, for how long will you be like this? For how long will you be like this? And Ayoub alayhi salam said, for how long have I been afflicted with this pain? For how long have I been good? For how long did I have good health? For how long? And the wife of Ayoub, she said, you were good for 18 years. For 18 years you were good. And for how long have I been in this illness? Ayoub alayhi salam asking his wife, for how long have I been in this illness? And she said that you have been in this illness for 7 years. Ayoub alayhi salam, he then says that, look, I am ashamed to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to care for me after I have been healthy for 18 years of my life. And I have been situated with this calamity and with this test for only 7 years. I am shy to ask of my Lord. I am shy to ask of my Lord that I cannot ask Him of anything more than that. And Ayoub alayhi salam later says, I don't want to see you. He says to his wife, I don't want to see you. So his wife then gets up and leaves. Now the wife is gone. You have no more wife. Nobody to take care of you. You don't have anybody to look after you. Your family is gone. Your children, something that we look into in our lives, the most blissful thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to Bani Adam is children, so that he can see a child that of his right in front of his eyes to eyes, and say, this is my child. And none of them are now here. They are all dead. They have all passed away. And at the same time, he has lost all of his possession. No more wealth, no more money. Imagine, would you still be with such an individual like this? And then now, what happens? What happens in the same story? Ayoub, he sits on his bed. It is only him and his Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he says, وَأَيُّوبَ إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ أَنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الضُّرُّ وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. Ayoub does not say, why did you put me in this situation? I am in bed, I have lost all of my wealth, my possession, my children, my wife, it's only me. Why are you doing this to me, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He does not say that in Surah Anbiya, but rather Ayoub alayhi salam calls upon to his Lord. He calls upon to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he says there is an affliction that has got the best of me. وَأَنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الضُّرُّ, I am with affliction. And he says, وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ, and you are the one that's the most merciful and the most gracious, having this direct link with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Ayoub alayhi salam, what happens after that is that he does none of this. I mean, he does not give in to Iblis and all of the whispers of shaitan. وَأَيُّوبَ إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ أَنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الضُّرُّ وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ مَا بِهِ مِنْ ضُرٍّ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him. فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ. He answered Ayoub alayhi salam. And upon answering Ayoub alayhi salam, now he became better within his health by calling towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَقَالَ رَبَّكُمُ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِلِينَ. One of my favorite ayahs in the Quran. وَقَالَ رَبَّكُمُ ادْعُونِي. And your Lord says, call upon me and I shall answer. And the one who is arrogant to call upon me, they will dwell in the bottom of the hellfire, or they will dwell in the hellfire itself. وَإِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ أَنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الضُّرُّ. And Ayoub, he says that I'm afflicted with pain, with affiliation. وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. And you are the one who's the most blissful individual. And then Ayoub alayhi salam, he says, أُرْكُبْ بِرِجْلِكَ هَذَا مُغْتَسِلٌ بَارِدٌ وَشَرَابٌ. And he hits his leg on the ground, and then water starts to gush, and his family return all of his wealth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala returns it. His wife then sees him at that moment, and she asks for forgiveness, and he returns back his wife, and he is even at a better state. And even some people, they say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him double than what he had before. So وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ وَكِيلًا is what we get from this, and have sabr. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love those who have patience at the end of the day. This is Ahmed Sadiq. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.